So
Keep the amount big. Yep.
that's that should be it. That should be working. I'm just gonna ramble for like another 15 seconds, give or take. See that that is there. That looks good to me. Holy fudge. Yeah, everything looks good. Alrighty. Hello and welcome to the party, everybody. I am your host this evening, the Bardic Knock. You can find me on various platforms over the internet, such as Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all under that exact name, the Bardic Knock. That's me. My name is right beneath my face, if I arranged everything correctly, which, by the looks of it, I did. I'm a little bit impressed by myself because I didn't think I could get this stuff sorted. Um, hey, we are going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons, specifically 3.5 edition, because who needs a reason, quite frankly. Um, Before I do that, hey, let me tell you about Welcome to the Party and what it even is. Welcome to the Party is a place. It is an idea. It is a concept. It is a. Well, actually, it's just a group of people on the internet who like tabletop role playing games and, all inclusivity. So we do our best to remove toxicity and negative stuff from the gaming environment, and we create. And this is a thing. It's a place. Go check out the Discord. Link is down below if you are interested in just finding like-minded people or just potentially being a part in things. We're all about teaching people to stream, teaching people how to play games, and having fun. Good, wholesome, family-friendly fun. Also, if you're interested in learning more about Welcome to the Party, go and find them on Twitter at WelcomePartyRPG. Follow and subscribe here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Welcome to the Party. You can go subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can catch up on everything that Welcome to the Party is doing over on youtube.com/Welcome to the Party. And you can donate money over on the Patreon, which is patreon.com/WelcomePartyRPG. So that's all of that good stuff. Welcome to the Party is sponsored by some lovely, lovely people. Those people are Tabletop Loot. You can buy small plastic things with numbers on to roll and make decisions for things. That is Tabletop Loot. There is Devon Rue. She is a wonderful artist, and she provides us with free artwork and various bits and pieces. You can go check her out at rueinc.com. If you don't know who she is the cartographer for Critical Role. That's a big deal. So there's that, and also you can check. We are sponsored by So Nerdware, who so kindly provide us with an outlet for the various merchandise. And if you go over to So Nerdware, you can get a 10% discount using the code WELCOME. So those are the three sponsors. Go and check them out because we are very grateful to all of that stuff. Before I throw over to a small player group tonight, unfortunately there's been people unable to be here for various reasons tonight, and that's fine, because, real life is a bitch. And we have to deal with that. So, before I let them go, let me tell you how you can support Welcome to the Party, just here on the Twitch. And what you can do is you can subscribe, which is great, it is wonderful. We've got various tiers for whatever your income is. Do it. It's fun. You get up-to-date information on everything that is going on. And for every month you stay subscribed, you can give an advantage or, you can just give advantage to a player or GM of your choice on any game. For every month you stay subscribed, you can do that, which is cool. That was a sound. You can do that. You can also... It's no worries. You can also donate bits. Bits are great. We like them. 500 bits, and we want you to make a small mechanical change in the game. So, crit, max damage, something. Just something mechanical. Just like, I want to help someone out, or I want to watch the DM screw everyone over for my personal amusement. You can do that. 500 bits for 1,000 bits. Something big. Something interesting. Something different. I've got the Twitch chat open. I'm looking at it. So You can do things, and I will respond and be like, "That's dope. Let's do it, yo." So that's all that. So I
It's
said,
usually how he talks.
"For reals, yo. I'm totally down with all the cool kid lingo." For
Please stop.
why you harshing my vibe, bro?
That's whack.
I'm unable to cope with this.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right, does it? Alrighty, so I will allow my uh, diminished player base, that's the word, because they aren't diminished as players, they're all amazing individual players. There's just less of them. It doesn't lessen them as individuals, because they're
I'm a
still.
little bit less of a player after Archer left, honestly.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Uh, I just did the heartbreaking thing, but I'm not on camera, so
Damn it!
I did it to a screen that isn't even looking back at me.
That's gonna tell us you did a really cool fucking like backflip, but none of us saw it.
But obviously, it was at the same time. I mean, duh.
Yeah, for reals. So
You ever
TJ,
do hand signals without doing backflips?
I mean,
Hi, I'm TJ. To backflip awkwardly into an introduction, I'll be playing Flick, the halfling rogue assassin / insert something clever here. Hello.
there we go. And Cody, who are you?
Hello, my name is Cody, and I play Kid the Dark Horse, Jarl of Cottonbeath, General Asshole, 16-year-old Eldritch Knight, which in this edition is a fun cross between a wizard and a fighter, which leans more heavily on the wizard's side. Had a pretty good day so far. I spent $160 and managed to come away with half of a living room furnished. So that's pretty good.
I'm glad to hear about your promotion.
Oh, I didn't get a promotion. Now I am the teacher of a bunch of students who have earned themselves in a bad position because of things, such as having hair color in
How
a
dare
school
they?
environment. Do you know what was the interesting thing we found about this? And I want to bring this up because it's cool. Apparently, the one hair color they can get with that's not natural to is white. They can have white hair because that technically qualifies as a real hair color.
Well, yeah, you can't really tell people they can't have white hair. I'd love to be at that HR meeting.
Yep. So if 13-year-olds decide to come in with white hair color, we cannot stop them and are allowed to have it happen, and we think that's okay.
I'm sorry, Jim, but you read the policy when you were hired here, and we just can't have you presenting the company in such a way. Well, I'm sorry, but it just went away. It wasn't my fault. It used to be gray. I just did everything I could. I did the Just for Men's and I did the touch and gray, but it nothing worked. No, you're gonna fire me. I'm sorry, Jim. We can't tolerate this in the workplace. You're gonna have to. No, but you can't fire me. No, no. As they
This
carry
is actually
Jim out
something
through
I
the back
witnessed a
door.
couple of days ago.
Okay,
Only less to do with hair and more to do with spraying pesticides. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, tomato.
Yeah.
Were they spraying pesticides on tomatoes? I don't know which one
Our
sounds right
school's not
anymore.
that rich.
um, well, we just got distracted before our
Yes, we did.
Pesticides on our ketchup.
That's fine. That's what I'm here for.
yeah, before our third and final player introduced herself. Hey, Rebecca, who are you?
Oh God, already.
This is informative.
I talk for a living. Can you tell?
I think all of us do.
Yeah, to some degree.
Oh man. Okay. I'm Rebecca. We're playing. It's what the locked, and I really miss my half-work partner in crime. Really bad.
No
Yeah.
kidding, hey?
I'm in denial right now.
She'll be back in a week.
It's too long.
For like the last week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is technically like our penultimate session. I think. I don't know how time works.
Maybe.
Oh,
see.
no. We've got 2 more. We've got the 18th
Which
and the
is good, 'cause
25th.
that'll take us an entire session to get through one fight. So
Oh, yeah. So it's not... What's the word for second to last? Like, does that exist?
Second to last.
penultimate.
I don't know.
Pre-penultimate?
Well, wouldn't it be like the quarter final? Because the semi-final is the one you do before the final. So that's a penultimate. So,
Matt, are you talking like any of us here understand sports?
hey, I'm quoting Rebecca from a Discord, so she blatantly knows the sports. Unlike the rest of us.
Yes, she clearly
Oh,
is
okay, it's
up
the
on
Pokemon
sports.
League. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know the worst part is, somehow, despite me being in charge right now, like, and not just like in the game sense, I'm running all of this. We're actually slightly more ahead of time than we normally are.
Somehow.
I think it's because we have exactly one less person than normal. Because our bullshit meter actually our bullshit generator begins as soon as there's at least 4 people to operate it.
Yeah, I can see that someone in the chat, Game Masters Vault, agreeing quarterfinal is before semi-final. So, okay, yes, this is the quarterfinal episode. Like, is that... I don't know.
So we'll go with that.
That's what we're going for. This is the quarterfinal episode. And, well, hey, let's give a brief recap. So, last time on Tales from the Kingdom of Faith, we chatted to a dragon. There was this creepy ghost dragon. Utswa got a new sugar daddy, who's a ghost dragon, undying god thing.
We need a lot of those in our profession.
Yeah, just a bit. So, that happened. What else did we do? Do. And that's basically it. And, plans. Plans to blow stuff up, basically.
Plans that I'm pretty sure a week later we all completely disagree with and could spend another episode trying to hash out.
Probably.
Because we didn't really come to any solid conclusion. We just argued and argued, and then eventually got sick of arguing and said, "Fine, this fucking one."
I mean, yeah.
Maybe that was just my perception of it. Oh.
I mean, that's basically how it goes, I think.
We have like the loosest snakeskin of a plan. We have like a snakeskin from like 2 months ago that's like off in the corner of the cage. You know.
I mean, surely snakeskin like becomes tighter over time, doesn't it? Because it becomes more brittle and breaks apart. Surely it is at its loosest when it is most fresh.
Matt?
Yeah.
How many snakes do you have in your country?
I don't know the exact number. We actually have a decent variety. We have green adders, puff adders, black adders.
Be back in a second.
He's gonna go grab a real one.
He's just gonna walk outside and be like, "I got this."
Yeah.
Heck in Texas.
Well, he did show us.
So terrifying.
Yeah. Actually, be wary for what he's about to show us, because didn't he show us a bunch of dead snakes a little while ago that his uncle killed?
Probably. we just pull it, like, do we need to give like a quick content warning for anyone who has a phobia of snakes? You're just gonna whip out a snake?
Oh, so... no. This is maybe.
Okay, so if you have a phobia of
Content warning for
snakes,
snakes.
yeah,
It's not a real snake though.
Oh, it's not a real snake.
There used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out.
Oh, it's a rattle.
This is a little rattlesnake rattle. I've got like an entire thing filled with.
So creepy.
Wow.
So fun stuff. We see the skins all the time. That usually tells us that we're about to get another thing filled with them.
As you do. So
they attack in groups.
So
bad guys in the movies.
All right, so that's basically what happened last time. Basically, got your stuff ready.
Oh, and we robbed the dragon,
Oh yeah, and you are like
kind of with her blessing.
yeah. It's like, hey, go check out my hoard. Help yourself. You're just gonna shake that all night, aren't you, Cody?
Perhaps it makes a very pleasing sound.
um. All right. So D&D players, play on. What do?
Okay. So I think last time we were basically doing the whole DuckTales. Let's go into the gold, swim around, see what we can find that's awesome, and because we knew we had about a day before this thing would arrive over Dundee. Is that
Yes, that is
okay?
correct.
All right. So I guess at this point it's time to consolidate forces. Okay. So last time we did this, we devised teams that would all have their own specific way of doing things. And thankfully, we put everyone who is currently absent right now on the same team. So that makes it really interesting to work with. All right. So at this point, let's go ahead and get the teams divvied up. First team is Flick and Vaco for Team Strip Club. Their job at this point will be to move through and disable the flying mechanism for the giant floating tower. Boots One Kid at this point are a distraction, which is why we're known as Team Wild Magic. Our goal is to cause as much of a disruption as possible because each of us have the ability to get out of it a little bit better than Flick and Vaco do for most. Oop, we lost. And then finally, we have Greg, Angus, and Natalie for Team Fuck, Marry, Kill, respectively. And their job at this point is to see if they can find the main guy so that we can regroup and confront.
Oh god, all the cameras have gone wrong.
That's fine. We'll get TJ back here in a second.
Dang it, TJ. Okay. Vamping, because I'm not going to mess around changing him, because unless TJ has just vanished off the face of the earth, he's going to get back and it's going to fix itself, right?
Mm-hmm. Possibly. That's the plan, at least.
Oh,
there it is.
Thank Jeebus. And yes, everything appears to have gone back to where it was. Phew.
Awesome.
I don't need to move stuff around. Alrighty, so there we go.
So Kid goes through and he hashes out the plan using a map he has drawn that looks very similar to the one that is currently on the board that we can see.
That's quite
probably
convenient.
go into the game. Yeah, he had a really good draw check on it because he took 10. and
Might be the first time anyone's done that in this campaign.
But yeah, basically that's the overall goal. Do we have any issues with the plan as it currently is?
So, sorry, I disconnected right as you were describing it. So, the plan is still to
Flick and Vaco take down the flying part. Kid and Utswa basically keep any forces inside at bay or distracted, as the case may be.
Okay.
And Team Fuck, Marry, Kill for sorry, I gotta get in order. Greg, Angus, and Nat. Their goal is to track down the Sorcerer King. Basically, they're the ones who can kind of float between the teams a little bit, but they have their main goal. Because if they can see the guy, they can potentially take it.
Okay, this is actually starting to sound like a plan.
It's the bare bones of a plan, but it should work. Basically, if we can get the dragons to keep the people outside distracted, we can get Spice and a few of the others to get us up into this place. Then that's the point where the plan goes out the window because we don't have enough information. So at that point, we have to improvise. Basically, yeah, we get to the point where we can improvise, and then that's
Then we do that, because that's kind of our strong suit, apparently. At least
Main
for the
force
ones of us that are
deals
still
with
here.
the
Yeah.
Main force deals with the undead. Giants are artillery. Here's my goal. I think we should take the monsters and just tell them they can do whatever the hell they want.
Well,
We're not going to be able to control them anyway.
Keldor's in charge of them, and I think what Keldor's going to do is, well, Keldor has his stuff together. He's got a bunch of gnolls that you recruited way back, nearly a year ago, if not over a year ago.
Like the first encounter we ever had in the game.
Third, actually, I think.
Really?
Well, the first was literally
that's right.
session 1 when everything got blown up. Then
Unst.
Called running away an encounter. Yes.
Yeah, then Unst,
Okay.
then the Gnolls. So yes, encounter 3. So that would have been sometime like April, May last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they've been training and they're flying, so that makes them slightly beefier than the regular.
Exactly. So Keldor's got them. All of these monstrous fighters and whatnot, like they're semi-trained. They're gladiatorial. They get the gist of it. They aren't just going to go, all right, let's rampage and mess everything up. If you tell them them's the enemy, by the way, if we win, we'll pay you. I think they're bound to help.
Yep.
So
that's the plan, at least.
Exactly. So Keldor's going to be doing that. There's going to be an epic stuff going on down there. There's going to be lots of cool, fun ground force stuff that I'll describe at some point. Nice. What is everybody's plan for getting themselves up onto this fortress?
I believe the plan last time was we were going to have Spice get underneath it. That's our first plan, is to get underneath it, and then use reverse gravity to get us up there, or at least protect us from the cannonballs. So that seems to be our best idea. But the first thing we got to do is we got to get to Dundee.
You do.
So as the giant eagle flies, we could potentially get there and have time to set up.
You can. Or there is a magical corridor of hallways that seems to lead basically anywhere.
That is true.
So you could
keep forgetting about.
So you could also get there instantly by walking through a door.
Maybe we'll do that.
Okay. So basically, at this point, we've all got our very nice magic items we've looted from the dragons. Let's see. And we just have to figure out one door that looks like it can take us through the Monsters Incorporated world to get us to Dundee. So basically, the one standing room in all of Dundee that we have.
Okay, I'll describe how that scene goes down. I've got one question
Turns out
though.
it's the closet in Utz's shop.
Okay.
Well, that's Dunkirk. That's the wrong place.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Notad. Last time anyone mentioned Notad, you had him slumped over near the magical god-powered pond that makes people better, refusing to let him heal or recover in any way, shape, or form.
It's true. He was a bargaining chip, and we can't have our bargaining chip escaping.
What do you... You've made your agreements. Khemria's going to help you. You've got a whole bunch of draconic forces. That has been struck. That deal has been made. It is agreed. What are you doing with... What's happening with Notad? Because he can't move on his own. You just leaving him there?
I actually kind of want to see what happens to it. It's got that very slight vindictive spirit still going with him. So, I guess at this point, with Khemria's permission, Kid's going to walk over to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hoist him up.
Mm.
And he basically says, all right, so I guess it's time to face the music. At this point, I'm going to look at Utswa because Utswa's the only one who's actually seen this well, technically Natalie has two,
Mm.
but who's seen this giant demi lich thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my goal at this point is how are we going to how are we going to deal with him? I suppose at this point I'm going to also ask Notad. You never did tell us what exactly did you do to make you our bargaining chip?
Well, he's 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 a long story basically, and what it all amounts to is a difference of opinion and this and that, and Camria will snipe in over the top. Basically, he was a coward, and he refused one of Mother's wishes.
Really, what wish was that?
I wouldn't say refuse. I just really didn't want to do it, and it didn't really align to what I was feeling like doing. Like, look, I don't know why Mother wants, like, why she asks for stuff to be done, but you just do it. What's the problem? Does anybody really care when a city gets destroyed? When something bad happens? I mean, why do you care?
Which city was this?
This is just just was supposed to interfere and Mother wanted Scarfell destroyed, just everything gone. Yeah.
Really? That's huh. Scarfell. What? Okay, I'm gonna have to ask. What was the reasoning for it? Do you even know? Is this the
She doesn't tell
issue,
me.
or was it just a case of go destroy it?
She doesn't tell me why we do stuff. No, I just didn't feel like it. It seems like a nice place. There was, happy families, and it just did not seem appropriate to just go and destroy for the sake of destruction. We had enough food. We didn't need to go and raid and steal things, and we've certainly got enough gold and treasure. So it just did not seem appropriate to just go and destroy people's lives for whatever benevolent or malefic reason Mother said. And I don't know. I just don't really think destruction without purpose is worthwhile. Mm.
Okay, Team Huddle. If you got dragon blood in you, you ain't all welcome. Get on over here.
I've never done one of these before.
That's fine. You're very short, so that makes it awkward for every one of us except Utswa.
Yay.
Basically, instead of like one big circle, it's like a weird oblong shape where the tallest person.
Unless everybody crouches down onto their knees and it's a really tight, low down huddle.
Yeah.
I find it
Okay.
interesting that Netflix only like half a foot shorter than Uswa. It's kind of funny to me.
Mm-hmm. So, Utsu, I know you've never been to Scarfell before. I don't know,
Yeah.
Flick, do you? No, I don't know that, but that's my assumption. Um, based on how you are. Let's see. So,
Let's unpack that later. Keep going.
I kind of like that place, and if Keldor finds out he's going to get kind of pissed off, I think.
Scarfell is nice. It's got just a beautiful bath and everything.
You have been there?
I've been living in this place for like 40 years. 40 years. Of course, I've been there.
Okay. Well, I stand corrected. All right, then. I don't know. I mean, it's just a little small town in like the least strategic part of the entire place. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for like letting Notad get whatever the hell it is he deserves, but that was still a pretty good reason. We wouldn't have been able to get the hammer had we not or had that place been wiped off the map. So what's our stance on this? Because like the way I see it is, even if we give Notad over, that's still on her agenda at some point because he never did.
I mean, my patron's now her, so.
Okay, so next thing that happens is she orders you to go destroy Scarfell. How's that going to make it?
Does anybody think that we're going to be allied with these people after this? Are we not just using them?
I mean,
To
at the
defeat
very
this
end, this
king?
is a truce. And I mean, honestly, at the end of this, once Angus gets his thing, it becomes his problem. But do you honestly think he's capable of dealing with
Well, no.
it? All right, we're going to alter the plan. Here's what I need from us. We're going to do this covert for everyone else. We're going to let them know this. Flick, you and Vaco, I think you need to take out the flying mechanism, but don't destroy it. Because
Okay.
once this is done, that could be something we could just hand over to Angus. Or better yet, hand it over to Reginald. Because I don't think he'll ever use it for something that would
No,
destroy
but the
everybody.
people he will come and ruthlessly tear his eyeballs out and force them to watch the situation that they're about to have created, Will. It's not who we give it to. It's a powerful weapon. It's whoever is the most powerful and can come and take it. That's whose concerns we have to worry about. And they, points around us, are the most powerful people. If we don't destroy it, they're just going to take it from us and drop it on whatever is left of any civilization.
Yeah, that works.
Just realized, did we
Okay.
make an allegory for nuclear arms?
Okay.
Mutually assured dungeonscaping.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then in that case, I guess our best bet is we have to figure out why she ever wanted to destroy Scarfell in the first place. But we don't want to do so in such a way to where we lose the dragons, because if we lose the dragons, all this swanky gear we just got suddenly becomes a thing we've stolen rather than a.
Yeah, I don't want to be warlockless again.
All right,
Okay.
that too.
Do we want to do this now, or do we want to possibly bring it up afterwards and say, okay, we're done. We're having our festival at the end. Now this is the point where we all draw our crossbows on each other, and decide where each of us stand. Is that what we want?
No, well,
'Cause
my
that's
son's
what will probably happen.
It doesn't sound like a good thing to have happen either before or after.
Okay. This sucks. Because the only, I mean, I don't want to toot our own horns or anything, but I think we might be the only ones who can actually do anything against these guys. And that's not even a lot.
You know what we'd be able to do a lot more against these guys with? A healed dragon on our side?
Okay. So we're basically colluding with No Ted, is what I'm hearing.
It seems like we're already colluding with Nota. I think that ship has sailed. I think like that's how they view it, isn't it? Don't we like to anyone who, even people who do have our best interests at heart, we probably look like we're colluding.
Okay. We need to make it look this way, though. All right. Let's see if we can get some sort of pact figured out. All right. So we've come to an agreement, and we'd like to request that we can use the Dragon Notad as a flight and distraction mechanism.
Well, yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, we know where he is. He's no longer in hiding. It's pretty easy to find him now. So, yeah, heal him up.
Okay. All right. Notad, come here. I say, grabbing him once again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have a baptism.
During the distraction, I'm going to fill up several empty flasks I have with the water from the pool.
How big are these flasks?
They're they're from other healing potions and from
Yeah, okay.
like alchemical supplies and stuff that I've used.
Yeah, cool. How many are you filling?
Like 7 I have built
Yeah.
up at this point.
Yeah, you can do that. You can fill up all 7.
Sweet.
Yeah, as I'm dunking notes out, I'm like, and this is what you get as I push him down. We're gonna free you, and then you're going to.
Okay, so as you're doing that, as you're doing the whole, I hate you. I'm only doing this because you're. As you're doing that, what happened. Notes had, you drag him over and he gives you a look. Like he can't really move his head, but he kind of gives you a look. At
I
first,
think he can breathe underwater, right?
oh, he can. But at
Just,
first,
like, completely unfazed.
at first, when you do it, he's got this like really scared, horrified look. Like you're actually doing this. You are 100%. And you whisper in his ear, and a small smile comes over his face. And then you pull him up, it's like
I slap him to make the smile go away because he's going to ruin the plan
Nope.
before it even happens if he does.
you can hide it, but basically what happens is you're going like, you're the worst and I hate you. We're gonna help you out. You deserve everything you get. He kind of spoils up. Oh no, this is totally not. Oh, that's really nice of you. Thank you very much. Oh no, I don't want to do this. My life. Why would you sacrifice? Oh, don't worry. We'll figure out an amazing plan.
Dragon Lady beside you is just like, I can hear you.
No, basically at this point, we've got to fake his death. That's the only way this is going to work.
I mean, okay, that's an option. That is
Figure out some way to fake his death.
for sure an option. Righteous. So, Notad's all better. You've got your full team.
Is this where we Ocean's 21 out the front door?
Pretty much, yeah. I think. Have you counted? Are there 21 of you?
At this point, most likely.
I was just making
let's
the
see.
Ocean's
1,
12,
2,
13,
3, 4,
14,
5,
42 reference.
6, 7, 8,
2, 4, 6,
9, 10,
8,
11,
10,
12, 13, 14 people in total. Only 12 of them with us.
8, 10, 12, 14,
So
16,
Ocean's
17.
level.
I'd say I count 17. Where
Okay.
because if I ping you over on the map.
Oh, yep. There we go.
I mean, okay, yes, Gen 3 isn't currently there with you, and well,
And Mateus is staying back.
yeah. I mean, you can get everyone to Dundee and work from there. But
Mm-hmm.
alright,
Okay.
yeah. You've got a big group of friendos. Boop boop boobly doo.
All right. So at this point, let's fly. At this point, we need to see the landscape too. That's one of the main reasons why I want to fly as opposed to using the door.
All right. So Eagle's just gonna fly. Obviously, you've got your eagles. You can easily get around. You can all
Wait.
just go, whoop.
Wait. And I
Yes,
run
I say putting flick on the eagle.
away.
I tumble off the other side and I run back to the Hall of Doors. Is there any way to tell what door is which?
It'd be too complicated and take up way too much room for every door to be labeled. But
Yeah.
if
Right.
you were to ask, you could probably get shown. Or do you want to roll something, see if you can find anything?
Oh, I totally want to roll.
Let's do it. What are you rolling?
Okay. I don't know. Isn't that what you're supposed to tell me?
What do you think is appropriate? What skill set are you using to accomplish this?
He's going to attempt to intelligence this out real quick.
Okay. I mean, justifiably you could use search.
Okay, well, fine.
which
we'll
is
do search.
intelligence based.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be a way higher bonus. Okay, let's do that.
2000.
A 19. Yeah, with a 19, that's pretty solid. I'll give you that. You can like just walk on through and you look and you kind of go, all right, so that's the place there. And huh. This doorway looks mildly familiar from, a long, long time ago. And it also looks incredibly burnt out and destroyed.
Hmm. So logically, I would deduce that this probably goes to the burnt out city. However, I'm wondering if any of them go to a door inside the fortress.
Okay.
If I can't find it, that's okay. It was only a 19. It wasn't a
I mean,
35 or anything.
yeah.
But that's what I'm looking for.
To find anything inside the fortress, like, you could find it, like, feasibly. The only problem being, you're one teeny tiny little person.
Yeah.
This place and the Sorcerer King have the ability to scry. They assumedly have some kind of magic on those doorways. If you step through one of these doorways and you do not fit their code, they know where you are and they can instantly find you and kill you.
Hmm.
I mean, you
I
can.
don't know that.
I mean, this is me as a DM trying to say, like,
Yeah, that's
you
okay.
you can. I highly do not advise it.
So, but then that's exactly the same as any other way we'd come in. It's just going to be more difficult to get in.
Okay, here's an idea. What if everyone, I don't know, we could fly in and we could make it interesting, or someone could stay here posted beside this door, and then when there's a distraction, they could just go through the door. What do you think, kid?
Hold on a second. Oh, okay. I didn't realize Rebecca was muted for someone else's side. So I'll reiterate what was just put. Climb in through the air sewers. They wouldn't mark the toilets. If we could emerge through the sewers. I don't know. I honestly do like Flick's plan a little bit, though.
Yeah, that feasibly could be an option. If your intention is before any actual battle takes place, you're just rushing on in and you're going to start something before they're distracted.
Here's the problem with it. The last time we sent anybody to go to Dunkirk or anywhere else where this guy would be, they got captured and tortured. So I don't think they'll be nice enough to torture the people next time.
Probably not. But the way I'm looking at it, either we're flying in where we have a chance of being seen coming in through one of the exterior entryways to this place, right? Or while everyone else is doing that and all the eyes are justifiably outside looking for them, someone can slip through a door inside and then be in already and not have to fly through arrows and cannonballs and risk of falling and risk of, I don't know, dying of sunburn. Like, there's a million other things that could happen on the way up there, right? This just
right. That sunburn thing's especially a problem.
Yeah, I
hold my arm up like to compare skin tones.
Yeah, we're, kind of the daisy chains for a reason. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's all I'm thinking out loud here is we have someone like guaranteed to just go into the heart of it at full strength without any arrows sticking out of them, without anybody falling off of whatever method we use to fly up there, without wasting any extra time.
Okay. Yeah, not a bad plan at all. All right, so if that's the case, do you want to stick here with Vako and we can send you a signal?
probably seems like the best bet.
Okay.
And so we can.
All right, then in that case, we'll use a different type of signal. What I want you to go into the scrying room the dragons have, and just watch us like day and night until something happens.
Okay, and
That sound good?
when we
I feel
get
it's
in
okay
there-
if you're the one watching.
Am I disconnected? Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
A little bit.
Sorry, what was the last question you asked there?
Basically, I went ahead and said that if you managed to get into the scrying room with the we'd feel
okay.
good because it's not like Flake's ever been a voyeur before.
Perfect note to go out on.
yeah, well, either way, when we get in there, just in case they do have something set up, I don't know if it's magical, I don't know if it's determined by footsteps, but we can avoid traps and stuff because.
And I reach back into my bag of holding and I start doing the pulling out the impossibly long thing, and I pull out a rolled up carpet which is several feet long out of this 10-inch long bag, and I hold it up and I hold it at the one end and shoot it down in front of me, and
Look what I got!
it's just an
a
incredibly
rug.
intricately woven rug. Yeah.
Why did you have her
Good.
back?
Can you
Now-
put it on the ground and hide underneath it and they won't notice you?
Yes!
And I flip it over my head and I try and cover myself entirely, and I go,
Alakazam!
Well, there's a
Presumably
bulge,
nothing
but I imagine that these zombies wouldn't be smart enough to understand that it's not just a bunch in the rug.
Shoopity doo!
Nothing else. Yeah, if nothing else, Buck can teleport you.
Activate! Fly says me!
Like, do you want to roll me a use magic device?
I kind of do, and I kind of want to keep coming up with ridiculous things to yell at this rug.
Well, that's it. If you roll a use magic device and it's good enough, one of these ridiculous things worked.
Welcome to Tales
That's
from
a
the Kingdom of
20.
Fire.
That-
You can watch me play D&D by shouting at furniture.
All right, 20. Because I think it's funnier if either you decide which one of these worked, or you don't know which one of these worked. So you have to shout all of them each time.
That's a 20. That's technically enough to use a wand.
Yeah, it's enough. Like, as you're hiding under the rug, I'm assuming you're holding on to it. You've got this thing.
Yeah.
You rug, and you shout, thinking it's gonna make you invisible or something, and you feel yourself the floor isn't beneath you any. It's still beneath you, but you're not touching the floor anymore, Flick.
Ah,
You just kind of floating up a little bit.
ha ha!
I mean,
Victory!
Flick, out of curiosity, are you gripping onto it with your toes as well, so you're flat under the rug, or as it lifts, you just slowly start to dangle underneath it?
Hanging off of the tassels on one end with my little hands. Oh, and I also have some fancy schmancy new bracers on my little hands.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm all about this.
So we can just use this thing. Down! Down! Put me down! Come on, down! Oh! Okay, alright, okay. Alright, Paul, settle down. We gotta get this figured out, okay? We gotta have a little more time to. Well, while they're flying there, we'll figure this out, okay?
And I start.
All right, have
rolling
Paco
back
help
up.
you. He's usually pretty good with that sort of thing.
Did you just name the magic carpet Paul?
Possibly.
That's what I'd name a magic carpet.
Well, come on. Aladdin named it carpet. That's just a fuck
I think
you.
it named itself Carpet.
Maybe. And I think the genie actually called it carpet first.
I don't know. I've not watched
Yo, my
Aladdin.
man, show me some tassel. Not the same without the musical cues, I know.
No, not so.
All right. All right. If that's the
Okay.
case, then we're going to do a very manly arm handshake with Flick to let him know that this is what's going to happen.
Right?
and
You
we
realize
will board the Eagles.
if you're doing like the very manly the word you're looking for, that's a Roman handshake, the forearm grip.
Mm-hmm.
With Flick,
Yeah.
like Flick's basically just grabbing your wrist.
Yeah, the point of that is to check for daggers.
Yeah.
Find
That's
4.
precisely why.
The thing is, kid, either if you want Flick to grab your forearm, you can
Grabbing
be
his
grabbing
shoulder.
like right up to Flick's armpit.
Yeah.
Well, this got awkward,
we'll
but
make it work.
yeah, I get the
It's
point.
fine. Awkward's the definition. Yep. Okay.
So
I'm a little
part of me-
disappointed. Kid didn't go coochie coo and just do a little tickle.
okay, so Flick is really excited for this new plan. I am so disappointed as a player that I just talked myself out of doing the flying assault on this castle.
I mean,
That's fine. You'll have the reverse assault where we escape from the falling castle.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, if you like, you can keep an eye on everything. Go and join in the flying assault. Have Varko teleport you back to a magical corridor of doors, and then jump in. So then you can get to do both.
Oh, it does seem like a waste of his teleport ability.
It does.
Also, couldn't we just teleport inside?
Well, he can't
He
see
hasn't seen the
inside.
inside,
Oh,
which
right.
really skews whether or not it will actually work.
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
yeah, I remember.
Instead of wasting Varko's teleport, you can meet back up with Gen 3. And Gen 3 will teleport you.
Okay,
That's the plan.
okay, fine, we'll
All
do that.
500 children.
All right.
You just
All
strap...
right, so I'm going to reach and grab his arm, and I'm going to throw him onto the eagle.
Ah!
I am
Super
assuming what you've done is you had Reginald, do Aquaman to his eagle. That eagle arrived. He sent that eagle to go get all the other eagles, and we're all just perched at the mouth of this giant cave in
Yeah,
the mountain.
like Kid just throws Flick off the cliff, and the eagle swoops down and grabs him.
Yeah.
The eagle
So-
swoops down to grab me, and then I'm lying there on my magic carpet 10 feet below the edge of the cliff in complete luxury.
This is perfect. We demonstrated precisely how it was.
Okay. Nice. So, does anyone have any particular preference on who they share an eagle with on this journey to Dundee, or is it like, whatever, I'm cool?
Kid's not
I-
alone this time.
I think I would like to be a much smaller target and just go on my rug.
Do you want to what's the flying speed of a flying carpet?
That's a good
It's only
question.
40 feet. That's a good point. Eagles are like double that, aren't they?
You can tie the carpet with use your troll gut rope, tie your carpet to an eagle.
Mush.
That's like
Sorry, you
what we
almost
do in the
choked me with that
summer,
one.
where we just drag an inner tube behind it. Which I'll tell you, if you catch the right kind of wave, and your inner tube goes up in the air, it can catch the air and be in the air for. That's happened to
Oh,
me
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happened to me too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great. You can do that if you
think
just
I
want to.
I think I will sit on an eagle for the trip, and then once we get into combat distance flight, maybe I'll just be ready to dive off, kind of thing.
Yeah, that works. That's all gravy. I know there's only half of you here. Like, is anyone fussed about having NPC interactions or interactions with each other as the party, or is it like, no, we'll fly, we'll get there, we'll see what's going on in what was Dundee?
I believe this time around.
Yep.
I believe this time around, Utswa and Rick will fly together.
Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to Unst,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give him a little note, and I'm gonna tell him.
Okay, Unst, here you go. Now, don't read this until you're just about to run into battle, okay? It's very important that you wait until right at that moment, because this is going to make a difference, okay?
Slightly awkward moment, little friend. Uns does not know how to read the squiggles.
Ah, son of a bitch.
He's got a
Okay.
level of fighter.
We never had these conversations, really. Apparently nobody, until now, it never really came up as important to note. A thing to mention.
Good point, I guess. Okay.
Oons is going with who? Oons is going with like Keldor and everybody else, right?
You haven't really decided where all your NPCs are going. If you want them to tag along and be present, or if they're just ground force.
Well, do we have access to
believe
more
that they-
eagles?
Do you have access to what? Sorry.
Do we have access to more eagles?
I believe there was like 8 of them in total, weren't there?
10.
Yeah.
10, okay.
So we could probably put a few of them on eagles and have some more eagle distractions, right?
Oh yeah, easy.
Or at least easy ways for them to get to where they need it, where they are needed in the combat, if nothing else. Okay.
Let's say I haven't decided much on it yet because, well, quite frankly, just didn't think too much about it. All of the draconic people, there'll be draconic creatures, so half dragon, half whatever other animal. That somewhere there is a template for draconic. So
you're saying at this point we have like a small air wing.
yeah, like you have an aerial force, So if you want to just pick an animal and go, but it's half dragon, yeah, that exists. You got it. Like within reason. Don't go. I have half blue whale, half dragon, because I want to. Yeah.
I really want that now.
Majestic
That
as
was one
fuck.
frisky black dragon.
Not even a blue dragon, it was a black. Is this a swamp blue whale?
I had to pick one that can breathe underwater, so.
The great blue
Stay
swamp whale.
away from my goal.
like
That's right. Blue dragons are desert, aren't they? For some strange reason.
desert and
Those are-
mountains.
Yeah, they lie upside down in the desert, and their camouflage actually works.
Yep.
Like I suppose I could just put a CR rating on the animal itself, but that's a lot of effort. Just something reasonable.
Okay.
But yeah, so you
Black
can,
dragon horse.
yeah.
I find out whatever NPC is going to be mounted with Unst, and I tell them to read this note to him.
Wait a minute.
You haven't decided what all the NPCs are doing. Are you bringing any of them with you? Are you sending them on their own separate missions?
That's why I said the one.
Well, you never decided. You just kind of like, we know what we're doing. NPCs, get on it. Like, if anything, you didn't even talk to the NPCs. You're there planning. All right, this is
True.
and your NPCs are all sat there in the middle of a bath.
By the way, we're all going to go die now.
Yeah, your NPCs are all there. They're having like a fun bathhouse episode. Yeah.
So what do you guys want to do this week? Oh, well, we got some plans.
So,
All right.
I mean, obviously,
Rolling.
one option for your NPCs is, hey, just go join the ground forces, try not to die. Or, like, okay, you've given specific jobs to Angus and Mateus. Mateus is, like, you have decided you are specifically not allowed to engage because someone needs to write the story if we all die. And Angus is like, you're coming with us because you're the MacGuffin. So your other ones, you didn't even talk to them or address them because we were too busy going, can we make the giant flying fortress shoot cannons at itself?
That was the best idea that we came up with, and I love it. Yeah, I guess at this point, we'll go through and we'll kind of brief them and see whether or not they even want to come along with this, because a lot of them didn't ask for a war; they just asked to help out.
So who else do we got? We got
Okay.
Gen 3.
Gen 3 is
Yeah.
not with you currently. You need to wait till you
Not
get
with
to
us previously.
Dundee. So people who are not with you are Meat Sprinkles, Gen 3, and Heroes.
And if I know Meat Sprinkles and Gen 3 and Heroes, they were all taking care of kids' children.
Yeah. Uh, so, NPCs you have with you. Angus and Mateus, you've decided what they're doing. They're just not allowed to be involved. The NPCs you still have with you, you have Unst, Reginald, Relithor, Duratara, Notad. I suppose you've technically decided what Notad's doing. You're using him as a mount.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza and Sansalar.
Okay. It's pretty safe to assume what Unst and Reginald will be doing,
Flying into poking distance.
basically.
Maybe we should put Relithor with Unst.
If Relthor's able to, I'd like to see if he could do anything with the weather.
That's
Okay.
a good point.
Yeah, have that conversation. How does that go down?
All right. Okay, Relithor. Really quickly.
Yes.
What is the best you can give us for potentially making it harder for them to just straight up shoot us out of the sky?
Well, it depends really what you want. I mean, obviously, I can do lots of crowd control things. You know, can do magic and this, that, but I suppose, how does a lightning storm sound? Just full on, like, and not just like the you know. Have you seen me summon lightning before? I don't remember. I think maybe once.
I can't remember, honestly. Talking to you is different than talking to the other guy. So I can't
yes.
say.
Well,
but do you have anything that can work on lightning or wind?
Oh yes, definitely. Well, that's what I was about to say. Instead of just like the normal, I force some lightning to come down. What I can do is if you give me a good, solid amount of time, enough prep time, about 10 minutes, give or take, and then a little bit longer for it to all take effect, I can change the weather. I can give us whatever we believe the most optimum to be. So.
Okay. If that's the case, I imagine the dragons can probably handle the good flight, but anything they might decide to send against us will have issues. So if that's the case, I need you to make it as crazy as you possibly can.
I can do that. I I will think of something.
Okay, I'll trust that you've got a good head on your shoulders, and if not, see what the other guy might do, because he never had any real bad plans.
Oh no! Don't worry.
All right.
I've got me some plans. I really do. It's going to be
all right. Sounds good and terrifying. Duratara, you want in on this?
Well, I mean, one would ask if I really have a choice in the matter at this point, because if I don't join in and help, what? I'm just gonna sit around, twiddle my thumbs. You know, I can't go home because it don't exist. I can't go make a new life in a brand new city because they don't exist. And if I don't get involved and y'all fail, then nothing's gonna, like, fuck it. What's good? What you need?
I've got a plan for you then. I need you on the ground if possible, and I need you to take the humans out. Anybody who's still alive, take them out, but don't. I need them to be so damaged that they just are completely and totally unconscious for the rest of this. But it's very unlikely they have any sort of healing for them, but they might have the ability to raise them as dead. So between those two options, if we leave them alive, they'll have a better chance of staying down.
All right. So, I mean, if we're going to apply any kind of basic thought patterns or logic or anything like that, presumably, if they got people down there, you know, one would assume that one sorcerer king, even if he's the most mighty powerful thing that ever done did exist, he ain't controlling literal hundreds upon thousands of dead people at once. That's a lot. So you want me to like break anyone's jaw and fingers so they can't cast the spells if they're on the ground and they look like they're making the people be, you know, not dead?
You know what? I think that you have a better handle on this than I do, and so I'll trust your judgment on that.
Well, yeah, you know, all them fish people, like half of them was the magic types. Break break fingers, punch in a jaw. Then they can't speak the words or do the spells. It's pretty simple stuff, really.
All right. Well, sounds like you've got it under control. We'll drop you in the best possible place.
Nice, nice. I mean, to be fair, you could probably just fly me over and I'll jump off the eagle and do it. You know, I think I know how to fall slowly. I think I'm the right level for that.
Okay.
Just
right.
a tactical gnome just deploy.
Tactical gnome.
Just nice, nice. All right, you got that. You got.
I don't think I have to ask anything about Sansalar. He'll either do it or he won't.
He just got a line of NPCs and he just look at Sansalar and go, no. He goes like, okay, cool, yeah.
I'll trust that he'll do whatever is best. He could even get himself a flying mount himself if he wanted to.
I mean, yeah.
We've technically avenged his people, so.
True. I mean, I don't have the stats open for what I can do with my magic arrows at this level, but yeah, I can do that. I got magic arrows. I make magic arrows. That's my whole deal.
So then we get the NPC just dwindles down to just Eliza.
Sounds a lot sorted. I mean, Reginald and Unst did, like, I know you give them the basic of fly around and hit stuff, but you got anything else for them?
I don't think there's anything else you can give a barbarian and a paladin. That's the most straight forward advice you could possibly do, and both of them are capable of it.
This is true. Do you want the
If anything,
conversations?
they probably do it the best.
Do you want the conversations, or are you happy to go, like, you know what you're doing? Good job.
Oh, I'm 100% certain they know what they're doing, and that's a good job. No, I'm mostly just concerned about Eliza.
He's giving us his chance to talk to everybody because he's gonna kill a lot of them.
Yep.
Cuckoo!
Stop looking at my notes.
He has asked us 7 times if there's anybody else we want to talk to, because we're not gonna have another chance.
So finally,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to save this one for last.
yeah, Eliza, who she's there. You know, she's a little dazed, a little confused, looking all right for the most part. Whatever is going on with her is kind of really beyond control or comprehension to a certain extent. Like you know that like some eternal entity is riding co-pilot, and she seems to be in charge for now, but who knows?
It's so frustrating because Utsa wants to talk to her so bad, but it doesn't matter like anymore. It's frustrating.
At this point, I want to call another, not even just a huddle. This is an open conversation in front of Eliza. What do we want to do with her? Because I'm honestly looking at her and I think she's a liability. And I'll say this as openly as possible in front of her because I need her to know this. She's been with us since the very beginning. She's kept us alive more times than any person should ever have to. But she's compromised.
Well,
Whatever's going on with her, we can't fix.
Maybe there's no more. There's no like monasteries left, are there?
I begin studying Eliza, very discreetly.
Uh-huh.
I don't think. What do you think, Eliza? Like, you're the one who knows what's going on the best.
Yeah.
Do you
No, sorry, keep going if you've got more to say.
do you want our help, or do you want us to just drop you behind enemy lines and let some of this rage out?
And okay, Rebecca, first of all, to answer the question you just asked, there are no real churches or cathedrals left. There is, however, a small church. Scarfell doesn't have one. They are not. They don't. The Triad is not worshipped in Scarfell. They don't. You know, Scarfell's super like, hey, whatever, do you think? You don't need a big church or to claim tax exempt status. If you've got a religion and a faith, cool, crack on. But you don't get special treatment for it. There is a small community church in Furness, the first place the party ever visited, and where you found Eliza.
Oh,
And that's basically
Great.
it.
And that's like literal miles away from where the battle's about to happen. More than likely, it's going to get caught up in it.
yeah.
So, I'm assuming you were wanting that information in case you had plans. So whilst you mull over that information, Eliza will kind of look at Flick and she'll just kind of go, well, honestly, I don't... I don't know. A part of me, I really, really want to be involved in everything because obviously I've been around for a while. On this journey, I met my spouse. I fell in love. It's very important. The Sorcerer King is literally the biggest pile of the embodiment of evil and horribleness, and I think I want to kill them. But I also do completely understand if you kind of let me be a part of things, because I don't want to mess anything up. Flick, you are studying Eliza, correct?
Who's TJ?
TJ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am. I
Yeah.
have myself muted, sorry.
Yeah. As you're studying Eliza, as she's talking, you see a small flicker, a glimmer in her eyes, and you see like her hair blow a little bit. This is familiar. It's like, all right, this is the kind of stuff that happens when the other person comes out. So
That happens when what, sorry?
when the other person takes charge, so maybe they want to say something.
Can I sense motive to see if that was her or it? Or can I tell that?
That there, just talking, that was Eliza. The hair moving slightly, the flicker and the glimmer in the eyes, that's the other person. They
Okay.
think they want to say something.
Is it trying to say something to you right now?
I don't know if this is entirely my own feelings, or if whatever that thing is. I want to hurt the Sorcerer King. I want to be free from this reign of terror he has over this entire continent. There's everybody here has been hurt and has been oppressed and just chained by this horrible person. and I want to see an end to that. Like really, really bad. Like more than I think I even know. I want that.
Well, that kind of sounds like energy we can use, doesn't it, kid?
Kid's conflicted. Because while, yes, it does seem like a good idea, this is a liability because we don't know exactly how willing this entity is to change.
The conversation Keldor had with this other creature, where he rolled like a 30 something diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
This thing wants the Sorcerer King gone.
Yeah.
It wants its freedom. It wants its chains broken. It wants basically from what Keldor probably shared this information with you off screen or on screen, whatever. Basically, everything that this creature, this entity had felt, all this resentment it had harbored, and why it wanted to reign and destroy everything. Basically, because the Sorcerer King has had a chain on it and been feeding it misinformation and whispering and twisting its perception of things.
Okay.
That has been tweaked and altered slightly because Caldor's like, well, hey, people don't hate winter. It's a part of life. It did all of that. Basically, convinced the god like we care, that you are important. Nobody wishes you didn't exist. So some of its ideas and perceptions like are altering. It at least seems like at this moment in time, whatever objectives it had before, they've gone on the back burner because I want to kill the Sorcerer King. I want that gone.
I think we should put her on Death Watch.
Death Watch.
If we lose anybody, she is our most effective means of getting them back, even a little bit. If something happens to Angus, we got to make sure that this can keep going because he's the only one who can continue doing it. If Angus goes down, we get out immediately and find her.
Why
The
doesn't
most
she just
effective
go with
way. Natalie's with Angus.
That's it. Natalie is actually on Death Watch for Angus. She has basically said, "I will keep him alive."
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck
This
the rest
is
of y'all,
basically a secondary. This is basically a secondary. If something happens and Natalie can't do this, we need her as our backup. Best thing that we can do with her is if we put her down with even just a few of the ground forces, we could even have her pinpoint the big one. Because a positive energy cleric is an undead creature's worst nightmare.
This is true.
Her best way of hurting them is to let us do what our work is and be ready to help us should we go down. So basically,
Nuts.
that's going to be the way Kid phrases it.
Yeah. Hang on.
Perfect timing.
My entire Discord just crashed there briefly.
Oh, glorious.
So
It wasn't yours.
So you missed the most raw line Kid has ever said. Glorious.
Yeah. Literally, you came back in, and all we heard was, "And that's the way Kid's gonna phrase it."
Oh.
Oh.
Damn it.
So that.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey Cody, you know that raw emotion that was spur of the moment
it's gone now.
and not easily recreated. Recreate it.
Alrighty. Basically, the way Kid has phrased this, basically saying that if she's down there, help, and we're doing what we do, we're the knife and she's the hand that drives it.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Basically, our entire operation can't function unless we got somebody to catch us when we fall. So.
I really want to say something to her.
Then do it.
But no, from Utswa, from Prem through Utswa. That's not gonna work because she doesn't know anything about about Liza at all, and that's really frustrating.
Nope.
I mean,
This is what's left behind.
I know.
all right. Rebecca,
Uh,
The clouds
Do-
part and a single ray of sunshine shimmers down, and Primrose's voice is carried aloft on the wind.
basically, yeah.
oh,
do
well.
you want
We'll
to
give that moment of closure.
like? All right, you can't just be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm gonna have a normal conversation with you. I'm kind of a god, by the way. Cool. What's up? More. Can you put it into feelings, like a sensation, like a thought that what you want to impart to Eliza?
That primal one apart to Liza?
Yeah, like what is the feeling? What is the? I mean, okay, you know what? Say the words that you want to say, but like as a player, and then we'll find a way for the character to understand that.
Can I write that down? Because I can't explain more shit.
Yeah, go for it, because this is
Okay.
this is words are hard.
It's about break time anyway, so I can make that during the break.
Actually, yes, that's wonderful. You can type it up during a break, and I can be like, "Ooh, so Eliza gets the sensation, and it's
Okay.
doodly 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 da."
Because words are hard, incredibly difficult.
They are super hard, especially on the spot. And you know, when I'm saying, "Oh, you can't speak them," you have to like get across this metaphysical concept of an idea that one might just sense through the ether and their inherent connection to a significant deity that is ever present.
I can do that, I just can't say it.
All right, we are basically at the break time. Does anybody have any final things before? Because when we get back, we're basically jumping straight into it.
I think we all need to have a high five session, like with the NPCs who
Good
aren't
game,
Eliza.
good game, good game, good game, good game, good game.
This might be the last time we see you. So the last bit of contact we want to have is my hand meeting your hand.
Everyone gives like Uns gives like the biggest da. I'm probably
have-
going die. Yes.
Hey!
At the end of that like 24-hour period, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As we do like go up and say the final goodbyes, I'm gonna go up to each one of the like people that are leaving, and I'm gonna give them a hug, and I'm gonna pass them a small carved figurine of themselves that I've made into a necklace.
Aw,
So little good luck charms for each of them.
that's cute.
That is cute.
And when they link together, their true powers reveal.
Yeah! Friendship, motherfuckers!
Little did
Friendship Megazord or whatever.
Little did you know, this entire game, TJ has been making secret rolls behind the scenes to create the Megazord magic item.
Yeah, the campaign we've actually been playing has just been a cover for me to do all this behind the scenes shit that no one has noticed the
Honestly.
entire time.
Honestly, every game Matt streams turns into giant robot fights eventually.
Somehow.
He's secretly focused one.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Right.
Okay, so Kid gives everyone high fives, Flick gives everyone a cute little thing. Utswa, do you have anything to say to like the collective group of people who you recently met and probably aren't ever gonna see ever again, maybe?
Don't die, fuckers. Flips on the bird.
If you're ever in my country, I might not have a shop, but if I do, come fucking buy things from me, god damn it.
I've been carrying you guys for a while. Eventually, you gotta start paying me.
I have been waiting for months for an ad read.
Like, I mean, come on, you don't even have to buy anything like good or expensive. Just buy something and then tell your friends about it. You know, come on. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you just like my posts on Facebook?
Follow my Twitter, come on, something.
I just need to up my numbers. Come on, guys. Okay, I think that is the perfect way to stop before taking a quick break. We're going to be back in about basically however long it takes me to run downstairs, get a drink. However long that takes, we're going to be gone for that amount of time. So
Matt has stairs now, guys.
yeah, I have multiple rooms,
Yeah, that's the biggest shocker.
like more than one.
Yeah. You can have stairs and still only have one room. I've seen those places.
Oh yeah, we did, because
Yeah.
we lived in an upstairs flat, so
Okay.
we had stairs that literally just went out into the door. Like, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, those are the places.
What do I need to click? I need to click that. We're gonna click that. So we're gonna take a break. See you all in about 5 minutes, because that's how time
Bye.
works. wait a few seconds to see if it worked on the actual stream. It should have done, but if I just keep talking to myself, scoop doop, doodly doot doot. Bum 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 bum. Yes, good. So then let's whoop, get rid of that.
You
Do
pull
that.
macro.
And we are back,
Not quickly.
everybody. Alrighty, hello and welcome back, everybody. Where we left off, plans were finalized. The group is now 100% ready to begin whatever it is they're about to begin.
That's a good question.
What?
What are we about to begin?
Exactly, what are you about to begin? Obviously,
I don't know.
you all mount upon your eagles, you fly on over to Dundee, where your assorted forces have been gathered. You know, you've got your hobgoblins, you've got your monstrous regiment, you've got your giants, you've got whatever human forces you could rally together from survivors of Dundee and Dunkirk. You've got whatever Scarfell could send. You have, well, yeah, you know what? When you arrive, okay, let's be a real DM and describe a scene for you. You arrive at the destroyed ruins of Dundee. Like, you fly over, you know, off in the distance, you can see the giant flying fortress. It's
Oh no, the
yeah,
British internet kicked in.
it
Did it?
did.
Oh, I can still hear him.
Is it fine?
Okay, good.
Yeah. Off in the distance as you're flying, you can see, like, you see this black shadow on the ground as it is approaching. You can see it. You've got a good few hours still, but you fly over and you see that on the floor. You see this army just marching, and above it this giant flying fortress. Obviously, you don't have to fly anywhere near it. You've got distance there. You don't need to worry about getting into an attack right now. You do that. You arrive at Dundee. Dundee is ruins, you know, destroyed buildings, burnt out areas, but set up inside it, there is a small count. I say small, you know, a couple hundred, maybe grand total 1,000 people of what you've managed to gather, survivors and able combatants, and they have made a war camp. There are tents set up, and this is all built around what was the castle of Dundee. You know, that's destroyed, that's ruined. And amusingly enough, the tavern in which everything started, the Drunken Bard, that has been made into the headquarters for this. That is where you will find Genthry and Meat Sprinkles. It's where you will find the de facto leader of the Dark Menagerie. It's where the War Council is gathered. And as you arrive, there is fanfare, there is excitement, there is, you know, you can see banners with these insignia of McFife, you know, this hammer. You can see that on these banners, well, there's the hammer and there's daisy chains wrapped around it. Whatever insignia you came up with for the Dark Menagerie, that is emblazoned on there. There's banners
It's
from
a dark horse.
Yeah, it's just a dark horse. You can see banners for Scarfell. You can see, banners for the Dunkirk regiment. It's actually quite inspiring, you know, to be so. What's the word? Blah, blah, blah. To be so emblazoned and connected over a singular cause, like all these different groups of people from all over, all gathered together. As you arrive, you notice the burnt out doorway, which was half destroyed, of the Drunken Bard. You see that open, and you see draconic creatures walking out of it as they gather as well. You know, kobolds, lizard folk, even animals. You know, you see like bears which have got dragon wings and scales. You see like horses and wolves, like, just everything. Your army is despite everything this entire country has been through, this is impressive. This is probably the most unified anything has ever been in your lifetime. How does everybody feel?
Hail the conquering heroes! Da 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 da.
Yeah, this is a little intimidating, honestly.
There's a lot of
Kind of
people I
seems a
don't
whole
know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at him, see what he's looks like right now, because hopefully he's up for this, because he's gonna have to follow up on whatever speech is necessary for this.
as you are right, like, are you flying straight in and like swooping and landing, and some? Are you like gonna land and walk in, like march in? Like, how are you? Well,
Right in the middle of everything.
Yeah,
That's where we've always been.
you land, your eagles land. It's amazing. It's fantastic. You know, dust is thrown up, and people go, "Ah," but then they see, and then there's silence, and then in the silence, you know, just one person shouts, "Yeah!" And
All
you know,
right.
Nobody else, just that one guy.
Hopefully.
well, that's it. You know, that happens. Someone goes, "Jim, too soon," and then
What?
quietly you hear, you know, there's this. It starts as like a small rumbling, and it grows, and it seems to it starts as, you know, a single clap, just clap, clap, cheering. You can hear a group go, mercenaries, 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 mercenaries.
Hopefully just coming from the Dark Menagerie.
Oh yeah, like that's how
If
there you've
everybody
got.
else is doing it, that's a little weird, but okay.
You've got the Dark Menagerie shouting mercenaries. You've got you've just got everything, and it all rises into this uproarious cheer, this roar of positivity and just hope.
Okay. I think we're all gonna kind of get down to the ground, and Kid's gonna hold up a hand for everyone to stop.
It begins to quiet. It calms. You know, people are like, all right, yeah, no, someone's got to say something. You know, as it calms down, you know, there's, you know, there's one person. You know, you see, PP. He's the last one. Who just goes, mercenary. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Kid's gonna look over all of them, and he's switching into let's give a speech mode.
Man, where's Kelder when you need
So,
him?
all right. So, before this all started, right here in this building, before all of this started, the last time I was surrounded by a crowd of cheering people, I was in the middle of a pit, squaring off against some person much bigger than me, and I knew it was either him or me. They didn't know who it was. They didn't know who anybody was. Neither of us had names. None of us did. I only picked this name, known as Kid the Dark Horse, even the Dark Horse part. That was picked up by someone who gave them to me because we needed some way to refer to it. And that was it. They don't really mean anything. They were just something we used. Now tell me, out of everyone here who just landed, about the people next to you, the people coming through the doorway, the people who have... Do you know their names? How many of you have looked to the person near you and decided to wonder about who they are? What kind of person they were before all of this happened? Take a moment to do that, and then I'll speak to you again.
There's silence, and then there's a little bit of muttering and chatter, and someone goes, "Hi, I'm Jim. Oh, how you doing? I'm Jeff."
Everybody is named Jim.
You can hear that people
I
conveniently.
lean in. I turn to my left. I'm standing beside Genthry. I lean in and I whisper in his ear,
My name's actually Barney. No one names their kid Flick. You tell anyone, I'll kill you.
and then I pat him on the back like he's an old friend and give him a little shake.
I'll let that go on for about 30 seconds, and then I'll hold my hand up again. All right, good. So now you guys have gotten to know each other a little bit, because the person next to you might not be here at the end of the day. That's the cruel reality of what we're about to go do. But at the end of the day, they've got someone who will remember them. That's what we're going to do. Every single one of us who's going to go out there today, win or lose, we're going to go down in the memory of one drunken bard who we have decided would remain behind. Who right in front of that door was only saved because we decided to burst his barrel of ale. So, at the moment, every single one of you are no longer just members of your various factions. Each and every one of you have a banner up representing who you are. But at the moment, every single one of you are just a life the Sorcerer King wants to crush. One that he wants to see gone because you dared stand up against him. But let me tell you one thing I've learned about light in this entire time that we've been doing this. Basically, one torch gives you enough to see by. 2 torches gives more people enough to see by. But a whole bunch of torches together, this one big raging inferno, that can be seen for months. And that was the last thing we saw whenever we left the first night here. At the moment, we're going to use that light against him. Because every single one of you has some stake in this. Every single one of you has something they want to do with the rest of their life. Even if that's only for another 24 hours. Let me put it like this. At the end of this day, I want you to scream at this king. Scream that you are a person who lives here and you want to continue doing so. And if one asshole calling himself a god says no to that, well, basically, you're going to shine the light right in his eyes, make him close it, make him go down to the ground. You're going to show him exactly where he stands. Ladies, gentlemen, this is Angus McFife. The very first night we left,
the people in the background.
The very first night we left was probably the worst day of his life. He lost everything. The woman he loved, his heir to the throne, or his ability to be on the throne, I should say. I'm kind of new to this whole king stuff, Dark Menagerie. But he got lucky. Because at that moment, I'm going to put my hand down on Flick, one person saw some value on him.
Yep.
And decided to bring him along. It tells you what kind of people we are. All the fanfare that came in, cool, we did some stuff. At the end of the day, we're not better than you. We're people who live in this land too. We all have the same stake. Angus, I want you to show these people what they're worth. I have opened the floor to Angus.
Oh. He raises his hand and addresses his people, citizens of Fife, those of us who have lived and survived through all of these troubling, difficult times. We, well, for one, you should all be patting yourselves on the back, something fierce, because that was certainly not an easy accomplishment. So the fact we made it this far, literally against all the odds, is astounding. But what we have to do is we have to take that tenacity, that refusal to roll over and die at the hands of someone who, quite frankly, doesn't even think that we're worth the effort. Or this asshole, he doesn't think we're anything. But you know what we are? We're alive. And you know what he's gone and done? He's gone and made some great big fancy flying fortress to scoot around and just drop bombs and stuff, and he's got this big giant army of people he's raised from the dead, and he's got a lot, that he's got horses with spikes coming out of their freaking heads, and he has ghosts and God knows what else. And quite frankly, it's a lot. But you know what? You know what that tells me? That tells me that he sees us as a threat. Because you don't go for all that trouble. You don't make giant flying castles that can fire giant balls of death if you don't think someone can stop you. So, you should be scared. You should be worried. You should, you should recognize you might not make it through this. And sure, have your moments of fear and doubt, and where you just want to curl up in a ball and cry and feel utterly hopeless. But the simple fact that we're here, that we have gathered for one purpose, and we have been recognized, that shows us that there is hope, that there is a way, that we stand not just a chance. Because I'm sure some clever dick out there can do a bunch of things with numbers, and tell us that, this many of us are going to die, and this is going to happen, and that's going to... But you know what they can't account for? They cannot account for someone dropping out of a call and fucking all my cameras up. But it fixed itself, so it's not a problem. But you know what they cannot account for? They cannot account for... Well, it's not just humans, is it? So I can't say humanity, or they cannot account for the spirit of sentient beings. And with that spirit, we will bring ourselves to victory and to freedom. We will bring what we have right now, unity and collaboration and prosperity, to this deeply scarred and damaged country. Also, if we win, I'm going to establish a free healthcare system, because that's a pretty big deal. And just just general positive social change. So let's get on that.
Kids gonna
Get
shut
over
shut up.
here.
Yeah, fuck insurance.
I mean, what else like positive social change can we can I promise? I mean, quite frankly, just all the good stuff. That's what's going to happen. So crack on. It'll be grand. So let's go make some things dead again.
Okay, he starts clapping for himself. Good, I'll help him. I'll clap for him as well. We'll have everybody else.
I don't know. How do you think that speech went? Because I was just making shit up.
All
I think it
right,
was
just
good.
at this point, on top of one of the eagle's heads, there is a flash and an explosion of smoke, and the eagle probably freaks out a bit. And suddenly, Flick is standing on top of its head. And he's got his arms raised mysteriously to the sky, and he shouts,
All right, you motherfuckers, this is it. We're going in, and we're going in hot. So do what you need to do right now. Say your goodbyes. Say your prayers. Say whatever you gotta say, because there may not be another chance. Do it now and get mad, because we're gonna take this bastard out once and for all.
and I'm basically frothing at the mouth when I say this last line. And then, as I look down, everyone's probably staring at me like, what the fuck is going on?
It's what yells, I'm already mad!
That's right. You gotta get madder. We gotta take all that anger. We gotta take all that sadness. We gotta take all that loss. We gotta take everything we felt since he showed up, and we gotta pour it back into him. We gotta get out there, and we gotta get through this, and we gotta get to him, and we gotta get him good. Who's with me?
Basically, at this point, I am more excited by Flick's speech than by Angus's.
Damn right
We
you
needed
are.
energy. We needed a
Yeah.
little amping up. We needed some tension built up. We needed some power.
We needed some crazy. We needed a little bit of
Yeah.
a short person on top of a bird.
Oh, also good. I had to light up a cigarette. Okay. Yeah, buddy.
All right.
I assume Twitch doesn't have issues with smoking. Like, it's just tobacco.
We'll find out.
It's nothing illegal.
What are they gonna do? We cut off
It's a
our
stick
last
with
two
a fire
episodes?
on the end of it. Yeah.
Mm.
It's
All
a
right.
staged cigarette. It's actually just paper.
Yeah. Filled with
Yeah.
tobacco.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. People vape on Twitch. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All
I
right.
think. I hope. I'll probably get told
Anybody
off
got
by
any
someone
inspiring
somewhere,
words
but
to say?
if everyone could just like my Facebook page.
No, we said inspiring.
Come by Oots was Things, the shop of the apocalypse.
Oh, I like that name.
No, it's Utsui
What?
instead of Etsy.
Oh.
Best jokes are the ones you have to explain.
Yeah, to me, I'm sorry.
All right. Anything you got to say, Utsua?
What?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. I think
I'm
these people are significantly hyped. I hope a few of them have headbutted the nearest wall and left a mark on either sides of the wall. I don't care. But
let's face
they
it. If
are
anyone
ready.
headbutted one of the wall, like any of the remnants, you know what? One of the monstrous people, like an ogre or something, headbutts a wall, and the rest of the building just falls over because you're in a ruined city.
that get me pretty hyped. Not gonna lie.
And then like the normal bog standard human next to him does the same and just walks away rubbing their head going, oh.
That's the spirit. Okay, I think we've got this.
So here's the question: can we see this giant thing on the horizon?
Yes. Uh, Dundee is like towards the center of it, where the castle is. It's built on like a small hill, not a proper hill because I wouldn't support but like there's a small raised edge to it because the castle would look out over the rest of the city. So from where you are, you can see a decent way off into the distance, and you can see it's a good couple of hours march away.
Okay. Well, let's wait until it gets a little bit closer, and then TJ will disconnect. Actually, no, just Flicks just disappeared. That's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, the cameras, the poor cameras.
I guess we'll let them do their say their goodbyes things. Get that all out of the way, and after about an hour or so, I suppose we march.
Nice.
Because at the end of the day, this is it.
There we go. He's back.
And that's what we do with Flick.
Well, it was nice knowing y'all.
Alrighty. So, I'm assuming you gather together the War Council and share all of your plans.
For a second, I thought you said, Matt, I thought you said war camels, and I'm like, yes, this is precisely what we're gathering around.
Yeah, you know what? There's some half dragons, half camels.
Forgot to mention we had a contingent of 10,000 war camels in the desert.
Yeah, we just had them imported over the walls.
They're half dragon, half camel, and when they spit, it's whatever element of the dragon. So it's just like.
What dragon fucks a camel?
Oh,
Especially
Blue
thousands
one
of times.
by, I guess a blue one by like geographic location.
You've got some blue ones, you've got some white ones, you've got some silver ones.
There's a lot of
Those
distasteful
lizards.
jokes I could make here. Let's carry on.
All
Spoiled
right.
for choice at the moment.
So basically, let's go ahead and take any alchemical supplies that we can get and load them up into the nearest ogre corpse and have the winter wolves transport those.
Well, one thing which you discover, what Gen 3 has been doing, and subsequently, not just Gen 3, what Gen 3 got the Dark Children to do on their walk over to Scarfell is he taught them basics of magic, and they have access to like a couple of cantrips, basically.
Nice.
But what he also did is he taught them the basics of alchemy. So, you have you don't have child soldiers. You have children making explosives.
With child laborers.
Basically, no.
You're right. It's a good thing we made that distinction.
No,
You know,
they are choosing to do it. It is a hobby.
yeah, we're not paying them. I mean, don't get it wrong.
They are
That's
being.
how every single school, like they're doing it for college credit. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, so
We'll set up a school system at the end of this, and they'll like all have A+ in math for like the first month because that's
Yeah.
about as Americans can make this.
Maths and chemistry, basically, for ease, whatever alchemical supplies you want or need, you have access to it.
Loaded into the nearest ogre corpse.
And
Powder kegs.
We'll have some goblins propping them up on sticks to make them look like they're actual ogres, and then just drop them and run.
There's no way it can go wrong. No way.
Honestly, it's perfect. If we involve more goblins, it can't possibly fail.
see,
That is the solution to every D&D problem.
I mean,
More
on
goblins.
one hand, you did, or you actually went out of your way and killed every goblin in that entire place. But for ease, I'm going to say, obviously, those other non-combatants who were here, there, and everywhere, like, you have a contingency of goblins. They're there, they're helping.
All right, we got the goblin puppeteers ready to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Moment of truth, guys. Let's do this. How
Uh,
fucked are we?
Well, once you arrived, Relifor kind of went off and started doing his stuff.
Ooh.
As you know, you started all of this at, this was a very early start of the day for you, so it's getting to The sun is just about to go down. You can see the night sky, full moon, and in the light of the full moon, as it perforates out, you can see some dark clouds. Just they are moving abnormally fast. They are pulling themselves in as they begin to spiral, and you can feel a chill in the air as Relifor has found the highest point he possibly can, on the remnants of a tower from the castle, and he's chanting and waving his arms around and all that cliched magic stuff. And at that moment, you can feel the entire war camp get surrounded by this blustering gale. Relifor has basically created a maelstrom around Dundee. So nothing can get inside. He's going to make it so that when people need to leave and get out, he can put small gaps in it. But for now, you are surrounded by this giant maelstrom. And you can see, just on the edge of the veranda, you can see this giant swarm. And you can see this floating castle above them.
Oh boy. Sorry, a swarm of what?
Just swarm. Just
Can't figure out
swarm.
what they are from this distance. Yeah.
You can see that there's a variety of shapes and sizes, mostly humanoid. None of them look like they're stood up fully.
Are they on the ground or are they in the air? Or both?
Good question.
Doing the chicken head.
On the ground, you can see mostly humanoid. Some equine creatures, a whole variety. Some which look really big, raised above things. In the air, around the castle, you see a few small flying creatures. When I say a few, a couple dozen. They appear to be quite large, size of horses, maybe larger, just flying around, and each one of them seems to be emitting a faint glow, as if they're carrying some kind of torch or flaming object. And they seem to just be flying around the fortress. And it gets lined up, a good, however long a battlefield is, 1,000 feet, maybe more. How large is a battlefield?
As big as it needs to be.
Exactly. So this war can start whenever you want it to.
Oh boy.
This is going to be the longest yard stalemate. At any point, does their army stop? Because I imagine they'd eventually see.
Yeah, their army has stopped. The castle has stopped moving, and you can hear over the distance because you're surrounded by this maelstrom, so you're in the eye of this storm. So it's actually surprisingly calm. If you look outside, you can see winds and you can see movement, but just in the distance, you can hear this growl, this low, perpetual. They are ready. And they are just poised. And as are you. How does all of this start?
So, just before we dive in, you said we could get anything alchemical we wanted?
Yeah.
Because explosives are alchemical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to put down 20 or 30 explosives.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to look at Angus for confirmation.
Angus, he gets it. He gets the hammer, He kind of swings it around on his hand, like, taps it against his, looks at you, gives a nod, like, "Aye."
Mercenaries!
Mercenaries!
Right then, the maelstrom parts slightly to create like a small opening as the Dark Menagerie just charges outwards, and from the other side of a battlefield you hear this low grumbling roar as you see from the sky, from behind the giant flying castle, small balls of light begin to fall, and as they fall towards you they grow larger and larger and larger. Lightning.
If anyone
No, keep going.
if anyone is coming like close enough to me, I want to try and throw my magical dagger at it and detonate it before it hits us.
Okay, nice. I'll keep track of that. But so I mean, you're still hundreds, thousands of feet away. You don't need to worry about that. This is like the
Well, I'm getting ready for it.
yeah. But you see these fireballs fall. They don't hit any of you just yet. You know, this is kind of like they begin to hit the space in between the two armies, and lightning begins to strike. You know, fireballs and lightning come raining from the sky. Tiebacks to episode 1.
Uh-huh.
What happened?
How does your plan begin?
We sally
Alright.
forth.
Yep, anybody who can fly needs to be in the air. Anybody on the ground needs to start going forward. I'm hoping that Keldor, with how fast he runs with his monster shred, will be kind of the tip of the spear, but they'll break ranks as soon as they see power circles to work with. Main goal: keep the disruptors safe as best they can. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of steel on steel for a little bit.
Yeah.
With weather keeping the arrows from flying.
Yeah. On the floor, like on the ground level, yes, you see exactly that. Keldor is literally the person at the front. Right behind him is his monstrous regiment. You know, there's centaurs, there's heroes for Minotaur, there's a gelatinous cube that is vaguely forming into human shape, but it moves by kind of glomping its way forward, so it doesn't like take steps. You know, like its body moves and a leg just like it's disturbing but really interesting to watch at the same time. And you see them that they are the first ones to make contact with this undead horde of monstrous, and just immediately all out war battles ensue. You know, you see Keldor like chopping down undead, and you see these monstrous creatures just grabbing things and ripping them apart, and you see them like just these heads of all kinds of creatures, you know, just like they take bites of, and people just like rip them off and like just the most brutal battle scene you've ever seen. And you seem to be your troops seem to have the upper hand to begin with. Obviously, all your cannon fodder, basically, you know, your humans, your unimportant people, you see them, they get involved, and every now and then, you know, a fireball will come down and just hit, takes out big chunks of both sides, just
All right, so how's it working with Spice and Team Fuck Mary Kill?
Okay, so Spice, you see this giant bone snake riding, just cutting through. Who else is on that team? Greg and
Angus, because Angus would have been on top of this thing.
yeah,
Greg, Angus, and Natalie.
yeah. You see that trio, they're going through. You see Greg just pulling out shotguns, taking pot shots at things, and Natalie just sat in the mouth of this giant bone serpent, just weaving its way through, not even getting scratched by the vast majority of things that come through. And Angus is stood on the top. You know, he's reined himself in. He's pointing his hammer forward, and he's screaming to charge and go, and he's encouraging and pulling everyone through. It's intense. It's real friggin' intense.
Okay, Team Strip Club, Team Wild Magic, our job is to keep big threats off of him. So at this point, Kid's basically at the front of the, I believe that we said what his mount was in the chat. It was a half-white dragon direbat.
Mm-hmm.
So Kid's basically controlling it and giving it instructions in Draconic if it can speak it, which I think it can.
Oh, yeah.
And Utsua, you're my tail gunner.
You're what?
Tail gunner.
What does that mean?
Basically, you are the artillery. You're the one who is shooting while Kid's controlling.
Gotcha. Okay.
You see a big enough threat, blast it.
Yeah. So, this moment is entirely up to you to describe, similar to Crime Time down in Dunkirk. You are flying over this horde of undead abominations and monsters. Describe what you do to them.
At this moment, I'd like to know what's flying.
Yes. Wonderful. How high above it? Like, are you like vaguely at ground level starting, or are you straight up full on aerial?
Utsua's minimum range is 60 feet, so that's the distance I'm trying to maintain.
How
Okay,
high
yeah.
up is the bottom of the fortress?
The fortress appears, like the very bottom of it, appears to be
Yeah.
100 foot above the ground.
Wow. And it goes up, what, like 100 feet, 200 feet, 600
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, that's about the size of a building.
Okay.
Well, a large building.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to fly fighter position on one of the Eagles with Vaco behind me,
Mhm.
and do intercept for anything that's coming towards Team FMK.
Okay, so the flying creatures, you can see them now. There's a whole variety of things here. The things that appear to be giving orders or commands, or at least look the most important, you're fairly accustomed to the undead unicorns at this point. It's them, but with giant leathery bat wings attached to them. And mounted on their backs are people in like cold black armor, wielding flaming swords. Like just swords made of fire. And they seem to be pointing and commanding things. Other creatures that you see along the way. Remember Bird Lady? Yeah, or you see people resembling her, where you see like skeletons and like patched together versions of that, with although instead of having beautiful feathered wings, these matted leathery wings made of sewn up flesh and all kinds of disgusting stuff. And you see them, they're kind of around, they've got spears and they're just chucking them at people on the ground. And so that's your basic flying enemies. There is one very large flying creature, and it is quite possibly one of the most disturbing, but also kind of like, why didn't we think of that, creatures you have probably ever seen. What appears to be the body, like the central body of, well, you remember Satan fish?
No.
It appears to be that as the central body,
No.
but interspersed, it seems to have like a long serpentine head attached where like one of the shoulder fins would be, and that seems to be like spitting lightning out. On the other head, like on the other shoulder, which is, well, actually no, it's not on the shoulder, it's kind of like, okay, so let me describe this. Giant flying fish as the main basis, It has a long serpentine creature coming out from it that seems to spit lightning. Mounted from the waist appears to be the remnant of a very aggressive and very dead looking frost giant. This is basically all of the bosses you have faced thus far stitched
All
together.
stitched into one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why?
All right, I think I know what we're doing.
So, fuck. Okay,
Uzo,
Paco, time to go invisible.
Uzo, just to let you know, we're heading directly for that thing.
So am
I don't
I.
even know what half those things are. What did you guys do?
It's just kind of laughing maniacally as he's charging at this thing because
Oh my
as
god!
terrifying and as horrible as each of those fights were, this thing is so fucking cool.
I went to the teenage boy to think that. Oh my goodness.
So basically, goal is to be the most annoying insect in the world. We're basically the reverse bug zapper. We're flying around shooting beams at this thing if possible.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, since that is going to be like a full on, like, we've only got like 20 minutes left, give or take. Can't really do that full fight.
I start studying it. Give it 3 rounds.
I don't know. It might take more than 3 rounds for this one. This thing's a lot to take in.
And instead of being able to like get onto like the big fight, which is what that's going to be, because we can start off next session with the big fight with that. I'm sure you have, like, collectively as a group, you have various abilities and things you want to do. Do you want to start taking out smaller things on your way towards it?
Yes.
All right. No need for initiative, because we'll just go. You can all go, and then I'll roll stuff. This is just, it's basically, hey, let's show off some abilities you've got, and describe cool things, because we're gonna have a big fight next session. So.
Okay. First things first. Before we get engaged, I pull out the troll gut rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it to secure me and Vaco to the back of the eagle that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
And after wrapping it around both of our waists and then around the body of the eagle, I have the end of it coming up in my offhand, my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hanging off sort of the left side of like where Vaco and me are. And so I've got that ready to lasso out with the left hand, and then I've just got my right hand free for daggers.
Mm-hmm.
So as we fly into people, I'm gonna try and put a dagger in the rider or something as we go by, and then as we go past it, I'm gonna throw the troll gut rope back and try and lasso people off of their mounts and just drop them.
All right, let's do some rolls for that. I'm assuming you're going for a mounted person then, not one of just the normal. I say normal.
No, I'm going specifically for the mounted people to try and pull them off with the troll gut rope. That's my strategy here.
All right, let's do some rolls. So, first thing, well, are you trying to attack first and then lasso?
Yes.
Okay, so roll to hit.
And I'm assuming these won't be sneak attacks, but that's okay.
I mean, do they see you coming?
I don't know. Do they see? Well, we're invisible.
You
For the
are.
first one, anyway. He doesn't have greater invisibility yet, does he?
I honestly can't remember.
I don't know either. Okay, well, for the first one, anyway, it's going to be a sneaky.
Alrighty.
Sneaky throw. So many buttons to click. Dear God.
That's a crit.
That is a crit. So, this humanoid-looking person on, full black armor, brandishing a flaming sword, riding this undead unicorn with demonic leather bat wings stitched onto it. You throw your describe it. It's a crit.
So, flying up to this giant eagle, we're both double saddled onto this thing. Vako flinging spells off the right, me swinging this troll guy rope around in a lasso motion on the left, the magical dagger materializing in the right hand. And as we fly up to, the line of these things, I look for the first one that's looking at somebody else, and I whip out and put a dagger right where its aorta meets its jawline, and it just goes like straight through and comes out the back of its neck, and the head just kind of flops off to the side. And then as we pass another guy on the other side, I'm assuming we're going into a bunch of these people at once.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out as we swing past it, and as it's looking behind us now, and I'm gonna command the troll gut rope to wrap around its head and just yank backwards for maximum leverage off of the saddle area.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then as soon as I feel it like go backwards, I'm gonna let it go so that it just tumbles off and doesn't tie up the rope.
Nice. Yeah. So, well, exactly that happened. You hurl your dagger as you just out of literally nowhere. This eagle with you on it just materializes. This dagger just flies through and cuts through this person's throat as there's this slow pause as their head just falls back and they just collapse off this flying mount. Just fall to the floor. You notice around it a good 10 or so of the undead flying creatures. They just drop. They just fall out of the sky with them. And you go there for a second one, you get the lasso, you throw, and you yank. And I'm assuming as you yank, you tell it to undo, and you just see this other body fall to the floor, and you hear it's like, ah! Falls to the floor, splat. Another 10 of these skeletal creatures just crumble and fall out of the sky. That's a good first move. Good first move. Good war. Good war. Cody.
I heard everything up until the Wilhelm scream.
Basically, after that, I was just saying, more of the undead creatures just collapse, fall out of the sky.
And sorry, they're not being knocked down by the guys that I'm dropping towards them. They're just collapsing, like they're being controlled by them?
Yeah, they are being powered by these other creatures, by these
Excellent.
spellcasters, yes.
Well, noticing that, I am specifically targeting the ones that look like spellcasters from now on.
Okay.
Especially the mounted ones.
Yes. Cody.
Okay. At this point, I have just engaged myself and Uzo with the giant creature. The giant, I'm going to call it a chimeric abomination.
That's basically
I don't
it.
know the actual name for it.
That's basically it, yeah.
All right. So basically, I'm going to try and get her as close as she can to fire at this thing and do whatever she thinks is useful against it. And I'm going to kind of look at it and see if I can see any weakness.
Do you want to roll for that?
I will. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably going to be... Actually, I don't know. That's a lot of different rolls that can be made. You know what? I'm going to say that since this thing was kind of hodgepodge together, I want to see how effective its engineering was.
Okay.
So, knowledge engineering. See if there might be one thing that's holding all this thing together. That's an 11, unfortunately.
Looking at it, there's you can physically see where this thing has been stitched together, but this isn't just like someone didn't just staple this or use like medical glue or no, this is, whilst physically stitched, it is also magically combined together. It looks pretty solid, but one would assume these things are not meant to be together, so inherently they are probably internally trying to pull themselves apart, at least in some way, shape, or form, because it's not meant to exist. This is a disgusting abomination.
All right.
Like,
And from this, I want to see if Utswa's magic does anything to it.
okay, so Rebecca.
Okay. I think what basically she's going to do. How far away from Satan Chimera?
I'm trying to keep everybody within 60 feet, so that
Well,
you can still Eldritch Blast without having to spear it.
I mean, I about to say I could spirit and see what happens, but that's 250.
You know what, Utswa, you're the one shooting. You can tell Kid how far away you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Kid's piloting. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Oh, what horrible name am I going to give this thing? Kid's bad at names.
Satan Chimera?
This is the thing that we're currently writing on the white bat. I'm
There you go.
going to call it.
Splendor.
No, that's an insult to Sugar. Sugar's right here.
Though Splendor's just a cheap knockoff of Sugar. You know, like, it's all right, but you kind of wish you had Sugar.
You know what? I'm going to call it ATV.
Corn syrup. Sorry.
His name is ATV.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Attacking, terrifying. I haven't come up with what the V stands for yet, but I'll figure it out later.
Attacking, terrifying, victory.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Attacking, terrifying, victory.
Victor it is.
Victor. That's a good way. Yeah, his name is Victor.
Attacking, terrifying, victory. Has Kid explained what this thing is to Utswa?
Basically, I'm going to say take all your nightmares, roll it up into one, and don't let it touch you.
Ah.
But we're gonna ride it.
Oh no, the chimeric, terrifying abomination.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. How about we back up a bit and I can like spirit into that?
10-4. I say,
Okay.
communicating that to the bat and draconic and hightailing it away. I'm gonna say, if I have any advice, aim for its bitch legs. That's the weakest part of that entire creature by my remembering.
What are the legs made from?
This would be lion's legs.
You look down.
In,
there's just
lion's
like
legs aren't
100
there
human
because
legs.
lion is mounted basically it's been turned into a centaur. Like where lion's upper body is attached to the aboleth.
Okay, in that case, just fire at that. That's the weakest link.
Then Satan fish has its eyes, right? Like in the places there's no eyes.
Yeah, it still has the three eyes. I mean,
All right,
I have a suspicion that you gouged at least one of those aboleth eyes out.
I think so. Regardless, he's just gonna aim a spear right at one of the eyes.
All right, go for it. Roll your spear.
Gosh. Where am I? This mess of people. There I am.
So that is AC 26 for 18 points of damage. That seems low. Did you just roll really bad damage? No, 5d6. Okay, yeah.
So I have a thing. So now that the undead dragons are patron, I'm thinking it's still sparkly, but now it's fire sparkle.
Like a firework.
Yeah.
Do you mind if a fire is black?
No.
Because, yeah, you've got a fun new thing from your patron if you so choose to.
Do you choose to?
You cut it out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I didn't describe what this fun new thing was. Because this is dire circumstance, if you want to, you can add, what's it called, the blast invocate, like the additional thing you can add to an invocation where it's like hellfire. I don't have.
Hellfire. Oh yes, Hellrime. I believe is what it's called. Hellrime Blast.
Yes, so you can add that to all of your Eldritch Blasts.
Oh. Oh, I like the sound of that.
I should have looked it up because, of course, we're going to Eldritch Blast something.
Take a
It-
minus
Is it
4 health
invocation?
index for 10 minutes.
It comes under invocations, but it's one of like the blast shaped ones, so it affects your Eldritch Blast.
We'll look it up later.
Yeah. Well, I can find it super duper quick. Let me just D&D
Hellfire Warlock.
books.
Hellfire Blast. Whenever you use the Eldritch Blast ability, you can change your Eldritch Blast into a Hellfire Blast. Hellfire Blast deals your normal Eldritch Blast damage plus 2d6 extra points of damage for class.
Where are you seeing this?
It's in the Hellfire Warlock Prestige class.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Okay.
That's that. Or it's Brimstone Blast, probably.
That's the one I was thinking of off the top of my head.
Oh,
Got it.
Brimstone. I have that. Okay.
Okay. They either succeed on a reflex save or catch on fire, taking 2 to 6 points of damage per round until it takes an action to extinguish it.
You know what? Sure. Why not? Let's do that.
Okay, so it's taken a reflex save. I wonder if a big combination fish giant electric snake is good at reflex.
I don't think any of their components are,
It's really not.
except maybe the snake.
No. So that's an additional 2d6 fire damage every turn.
Until it extinguishes itself, yeah.
I need to roll the 2d6. Okay.
Question, is Apolith mucus flammable?
It is now.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, so
That is a
Alright.
chunk.
that's a good chunk. I'll have to write that down so I don't forget for next time. Boom.
I imagine it's like she's about to fire. She fires it. Suddenly there's this black fire. She just fucking go, "Wow! What's that? So cool!"
I totally forgot I was using display capture, so the stream is just showing me looking up stuff on in a book. Whoops. That'll fix itself in about 20 seconds. That was funny. Kid, are you doing anything to attack this creature?
At the moment, it's taking all I have to control the bat creature. My goal is if I see Utsu doing this, my eyes are going wide and my mouth is making a huge smile. I know for a fact she's got this. My job right now is make sure we don't get. And so basically, every single one of my characters at some point becomes a getaway. Basically, just imagine me trying to perform drifts with this thing, and you've got what the kids do.
Okay. Well, as the final thing I'm going to describe for this session, your other aerial mounted team, being Unst and Reginald, you see this eagle, because you're keeping your distance, you're being tactical. Flick is being clever and taking out these basically these summoners as a quick way. You see just flying straight past you, almost like flying faster than you can fly on your eagles. It just zooms past. You see Reginald. He's got his lance, and he's twisted his arm into it. He's crouched. He's charging, and you see Unst standing up on the back of his eagle. Did you give Unst a new weapon? I don't remember.
Did we ever
Yes.
fix his arms?
Yeah,
Yes,
you fix
we did.
everything.
We fixed the roads. Yes, I gave Unst the Maul of the Titans.
Nice. So, what Unst is gonna do? Because I've not tweaked the character sheets yet, because this is merely fluff. But I want to imagine Unst decided to take the monkey grip feat. So on one hand, he's got the Maul of Titans. In other, he's got he's got a dope ass greatsword, probably the one you stole from someone at some point. You know what? Screw it. He's got one of the flaming greatswords. They grabbed they grabbed one of the great swords from one of the people Flick killed. Maul of Titans, flaming great sword. Damn it, TJ.
Wait until after the stream for something like that, TJ. Now we've got nothing. You've ruined it.
I didn't say it out loud. I gave you every chance to ignore it.
It's almost worse because I'm not even going to explain to people what you just typed. Because anyhow,
Part of me wants to, but I won't. I'll resist.
this duo fly directly into the torso of where Lion connects to Satan Fish. Unst leaps off and swings, jumping right into it, and and Reginald plows straight into the chest of Lion. There is a lot, there's a blood splatter clatter, splatter, not a clatter.
Blood splatter.
Yes, that's the one.
Shh, those are words. Those are real words. And you see Reginald's eagle. That. What happens is all of this happens. The serpent fires lightning. You see Reginald's eagle spiral down to the ground as Reginald and Unst. Well, you have lost visibility on them. They're right up, climbing on top of this creature.
No.
You don't know they're dead yet. They might be fine.
Yeah.
They might be okay.
They go plummeting down, or is it like a controlled descent?
The eagle looks to be plummeting, but you can't see where those two are.
Is there any chance I can shoot out a troll gut rope to them, or are they too far away?
You've been purposely keeping distance from this creature, haven't you?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So that we'll have to wait till next time to find out what's happened to them, because that is the end of this delightful session. Thank you.
Dun.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning on in. It's been wonderful. I'm very much looking forward to the last two sessions we have here, because even more craziness is going to ensue. So, until next time, everybody, this has been Welcome's Party. You can find Welcome's Party on various places over the internet, such as Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube. On Twitter, it is at Welcome Party RPG. Here on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/Welcome Party RPG. Over on YouTube, youtube.com/Welcome's Party. And Patreon is patreon.com/Welcome Party RPG. Go check out all of those things. A huge thank you to our sponsors, being Tabletop Loot, Devon Rue of RueInc.com, and So Nerdware, where you can get 10% off everything on their website if you use the code WELCOME. Something I forgot to mention at the beginning, podcasts. Welcome's Party has them. Go check them out on Podbean, Google Store, and iTunes. They're all Welcome Party RPG podcasts. They're a thing I forget to mention sometimes. I have been the Bardic Knock. You can find me on various platforms such as Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all under the Bardic Knock. You're such an asshole, Cody. And yes, that is me. Who are other people? Well, Cody, you have artists you like to tell us about.
I do, and then I have to immediately go move a couch, so I'll go quick. The first person I'd like to mention today is Mikun19 on DeviantArt.com. She is the person who's drawn Kid's most recent form, but his original form came from another artist who is awesome and it was on Twitter. His name is Thomas JB. Please go check them out. I have been Cody, and see you guys all later.
Yep.
Later, bud.
Rebecca.
Just so that you don't screw up the cameras.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be done in like 30 seconds, give or take. Rebecca, you have a DeviantArt, which you do.
I do. It's Lundana, Lundana.
Yes. And tune in next time. We are going to go raid Devil's Luck Gaming. That's how you spell that. That's typed in correctly. That should work. So until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy adventuring.
Bye.
TJ, why didn't you do the thing?
So that's what I did it for him. Like, what's happening? I'll have to do it for him instead.
Raid now. Do